Following that, we'll hear from David Ortiz, Public Information Officer for the Los Angeles Fire Department. Those remarks are going to be provided in Spanish. After that, we'll hear from Chief Moore of the Los Angeles Police Department. Following that, we'll hear from Assistant Chief Labrada, who will provide remarks in Spanish. After that, we'll hear from Ara Garcia, President of the Board of Public Works. Following that, we'll hear from Marty Adams, General Manager and Chief Engineer of LADWP. And wrapping up will be Carol Parks, who's the General Manager of EMD. I announced it before, but we will be providing another update after this press conference at 4 p.m. After all of the speeches, we'll take questions from the right. Just a reminder to identify yourself by name and publication. And with that, Mayor Bess.
Thank you all for being here this morning. Over the past few days, the city family has been working around the clock to prepare for the storm, and we are just beginning to see it hit Los Angeles. Our message today is clear: stay safe, stay home, and stay informed. This is an unprecedented weather event, but Los Angeles has deep experience responding to crisis. Whether it be wildfire or earthquakes, the city is prepared. A lot of work has already been done to prepare, and there are a few critical areas of focus. Our primary mission, of course, is to protect the life and property of Angelenos. Second, we need to keep our city workers safe. Third, we must ensure that city services are operating as best as possible given the circumstances. Last night, Chief Crowley, who is the incident commander, activated the Emergency Operations Center to level 2. It was very important that we started in-person preparation last night so that this morning we were already in action. Last night, I also signed a declaration of local emergency to immediately activate the Emergency Operations Organization and waive any regulation that may inhibit the saving of lives here in Los Angeles. I want to thank President Biden and Vice President Harris, as well as Governor Newsom, for their support in preparation and their pledges to support with recovery as needed. Right now, again, it is critical that Angelenos stay safe and stay home unless otherwise directed by safety officials. Avoid unnecessary travel. If you do not need to be on the road, please don't get in your car. Make sure your emergency kit and essential devices are on hand, and ensure that all of your devices are charged. In the event of life-threatening emergency, Angelenos should call 911. For impacts like roadway flooding, tree limbs blocking roads, or mudslides, Angelenos should request service online or by calling 311. In the event of power outages or water main breakage, Los Angeles Department of Water and Power customers can call 1-800-DIAL, D-I-A-L, DWP. If you see downed power lines or wires, please do not approach them. The water surrounding the wires could cause serious damage, serious injury, or death. Just to reiterate one last time, stay safe, stay home, and stay informed. A brief message from our Superintendent of LA Unified School Districts, Alberto Cavallo. An assessment will be made later today as to whether schools will be opened or closed tomorrow. Like I said on Friday, our emergency departments are unparalleled. So when an unprecedented disaster hits, please, Angelenos, know that we are ready. Thank you, and I now want to turn this over to our Chief of the Los Angeles Fire Department, Chief Crowley.
Good morning, everyone. First and foremost, I'll introduce myself, Kristen Crowley, the Fire Chief, Los Angeles City Fire Department. I'd like to begin by providing everyone an update on our Tropical Storm Hilary. Fortunately, the storm has weakened to a Category 1 hurricane with a maximum winds of at least 80 miles per hour. It is expected to downgrade further and make landfall as a tropical storm. The total of 1.5 to 3 inches of rain is forecasted for the Los Angeles area. The expected wind speeds are to be moderate at 20 to 30 miles an hour. Rain is forecast to begin earlier than expected, and as you can see, if you look outside, it's here. The Antelope Valley and San Gabriel Mountain areas outside of the city of Los Angeles are expected to see the largest impacts with 3 to 7 inches of rain. Santa Ana-like conditions with northeasterly winds, particularly in the mountain areas, are likely. Santa Ana corridors will have higher chance of seeing sustained winds up to 40 miles an hour with gusts up to 50 miles an hour in the mountain areas. Now, this storm is expected to have significant impacts within the area, which will include flash flooding, coastal flooding, as well as erosion, dangerous rip currents, and high seas, damage to porches, awnings, carports, sheds, and unanchored mobile homes, damage to large trees, damage to fencing and roadway signs. Roads may become impassable from debris. Hazardous driving conditions on bridges and other elevated roadways, scattered power lines and communication outages, and here's some helpful definitions as well as additional information. Tropical storm watch. Sustained winds of 39 to 73 miles an hour are possible within the specified areas within 48 hours in association of a tropical and subtropical or post-tropical cyclone. Tropical storm warning. Sustained winds of 39 to 73 miles an hour are expected somewhere within the specified areas within 36 hours in association with tropical, subtropical, or post-tropical cyclone. And a flash flood warning. Flash flood warning is issued when a flash flood is imminent or occurring. If you are in a flood-prone area, move immediately to high ground. A flash flood is a sudden violent flood that can take from minutes to hours to develop. And it is even possible to experience a flash flood in areas not immediately receiving rain. I'd like to shift my comments now to your LAFD and what is our path forward. I want to make sure that the community understands that your LAFD remains ready. We have been preparing for this moment, and this moment is now. We have proactively staffed and augmented additional resources throughout the city. They have been strategically pre-deployed within the city to ensure, first and foremost, your safety, and we want to focus and will continue to focus on reducing risk. We have staffed additional fire engines, brush patrols, all Type 3 OES engines which have a 4-wheel drive capability. We have 3 swiftwater teams with 4 certified members on each team, as well as a fully staffed 16-person OES Type 1 swiftwater team. Our specialized heavy equipment operators and dozer crews are available to be deployed. We have fully staffed all urban search and rescue apparatus that are located throughout the city. Our wildland hand crew has been mobilized with 4 community emergency response teams available as well. Additional helicopters, pilots, and crew are on the standby. Command teams are deployed and ready to respond. And lastly, our additional 911 dispatchers are in place to address the additional 911 community needs. Additionally, the LAFD has specifically trained Urban Search and Rescue California Task Force 1. It's one of 28 FEMA teams that are located strategically throughout the nation, and we have one here in the city ready to respond. They have experience at Hurricanes Katrina, Harvey, and Irma. Now lastly, our top line message is that all Angelenos should stay safe and stay informed. Visit LAFD.org for more information and sign up for the LAFD alerts at LAFD.org/alert. And also visit notifyla.org. Lastly, avoid any unnecessary travel to decrease your risk. If you have to drive, please avoid flooded areas, and if you come across downed wires, consider them energized. Think that they are energized, do not touch them, and call for the professionals to help. They are potentially legal, as we know. And remember, together we can, and we will absolutely get through this. We are here to serve you. We're honored to be here, And next, I would like to invite up firefighter David Ortiz to cover these points in Spanish. Thank you.
Bueno, mi nombre es David Ortiz, vocero con el Departamento de Bomberos de Los Ángeles. Estamos reportando una actualización en cuanto a las condiciones de este huracán Hilary. Ha sido amenorado su potencia y ahora se está notificándonos que es un tipo o categoría número 1. Pero aún así los vientos continúan teniendo máximas de 80 millas por hora. Esperamos que va a minimizar la fuerza y se va a convertir este huracán en una tormenta tropical. Aún así, se espera que caigan entre 1,5 pulgadas a 3 pulgadas de lluvia a través de la área de Los Ángeles. Esperamos que estos vientos van a ser sostenidos de 20 a 30 millas por hora y esta lluvia está llegando más temprano de lo que se había pronosticado. Lo más fuerte de esta lluvia se espera va a llegar entre las horas de las 4 de la tarde y 10 de esta noche. Muchas de estas condiciones son similares a los vientos que conocemos como Santa Anas en nuestra región. Va a haber más posibilidad de recibir vientos más fuertes en las áreas montañosas donde los vientos pueden llegar a ser 50 millas por hora. Se espera que esta tormenta va a tener impactos en nuestro condado y nuestra área. Van a haber inundaciones, va a haber inundación costera y va a haber deslaves de tierra. Esperamos que las corrientes de agua en el mar van a ser peligrosas. Si usted tiene áreas que no han sido ancladas como casas móviles o tejados, estos pueden llegar a ser proyectiles. Esperamos el caída de árboles. Esperamos que muchos de las diferentes cercas y marcadores, señales en las carreteras posiblemente van a caer. Las carreteras van a ser bloqueadas por muchos árboles y basura. Va a ser peligroso el estar manejando y el cruzar muchos puentes y áreas elevadas. Esperamos que también va a haber falta de energía en muchas zonas. Voy a dar unas definiciones de los diferentes tipos de términos que se están usando. El primero es el aviso de una tormenta tropical. Se está dando esta definición para vientos de 39 a 73 millas por hora y estos pueden ocurrir durante una temporada de 48 horas y está asociado con un ciclón. El alerta de una tormenta tropical es cuando existen vientos de 39 a 73 millas por hora y ese puede estar asociado con un ciclón durante un tiempo de 36 horas. Y una alerta de inundación, esta se está dando cuando se espera que una área va a ser inminentemente inundada o está ocurriendo. Si usted está en una área que está siendo inundada, muévase a área más alta. Cuando ocurren estas inundaciones, pueden ocurrir de una manera violenta y en unos solos minutos puede estar desenvolviéndose de una manera muy peligrosa, aunque no haya lluvia que esté cayendo. Su departamento de bomberos de Los Ángeles está preparado para lo que está ocurriendo ahorita. Hemos puesto personal adicional a la disposición de la ciudad y de la región. Y estos recursos están estratégicamente situados a través de nuestra área. Pero pedimos que usted nos ayude a reducir el riesgo. Continuamos nosotros teniendo bomberas adicionales con la tracción de 4 ruedas. Estas son bomberas especializadas en varias estaciones. Son 6 adicionales bomberas. Tenemos 3 equipos de rescate acuático y un equipo de rescate acuático estatal que también está a nuestra disposición. Hemos puesto también nuestros equipos de rescate urbano con complemento completo de personal capacitado. Tenemos un equipo de voluntarios que también están en las diferentes comunidades para apoyarnos. Tenemos helicóptero adicional con personal y equipo listos y equipos de comando que también están disponibles para apoyarnos. Últimamente, también para terminar, el Centro de Comunicaciones 911 tiene personal adicional también para contestar las llamadas del 911. Queremos también avisarle que tenemos un especializado grupo, California Task Force One, quien es uno de 28 equipos nacionales que han respondido a huracanes similares como Katrina, Harvey y Irma. El mensaje más importante que queremos que recuerde nuestros ciudadanos de Los Ángeles es que se mantenga seguro, se mantenga informado. Visite nuestro sitio de internet lafd.org para más información y también reciba las alertas si usted va al sitio notifyla.org, notifyla.org. Por favor, evada el estar viajando para minimizar su riesgo. Si usted necesita manejar, por favor, no entre a áreas inundadas. Por favor, no se acerque a cables caídos y considere todo cable caído como energizado. Podría potencialmente ser mortal. Juntos podemos atravesar esto. Now, I would like to introduce the Chief of Police, Michael Moore.
Thank you and good morning. As the mayor indicated, the top message today is stay safe, stay home, and stay informed. I want to thank Mayor Bass for her leadership, as well as Fire Chief Crowley, Carol Parks, the General Manager of the Emergency Management Department, the other general managers, and all of the city staff that are working aggressively and tirelessly to prepare to respond to this highly unusual event, this highly unusual and dangerous weather event. This city's efforts are unmatched anywhere across the country in regards to both the preparedness, the training, and the equipment necessary to impact the types of emergencies such as is before us today. While it's untraditional for us to see this type of a weather event, a hurricane or tropical storm, nonetheless, the types of emergencies that spring from it we do have past experience with. And so we're quite ready. The Los Angeles Police Department has augmented its staffing levels both in its uniform patrol resources as well as in our specialized units. The entire organization is leaning forward to ensure that any related emergencies that spring from this storm, that we're here to support the overall city effort. The next 24 to 36 hours are critical, as has been said. So what we need from our public is their cooperation, we need their help and assistance, and avoiding travel wherever possible. If, by nature of their assignment or job or position, they find themselves as needing to travel, that they're mindful of the weather conditions around them. These weather conditions are going to change dramatically over the next 6 to 8 hours. They need to avoid any large gatherings of water, rushing water or otherwise. Vehicles can become immobilized and people's lives can be endangered by simply driving through a pool of water with unknown depth or content. Secondly, we need them to understand that we'll be emergency personnel and vehicles all throughout this region. These added patrols are there for their safety. We ask for people to stay home though, and if they are on the roadway, to heed and yield to these emergency vehicles. Secondly, as you'll hear from the General Manager of DWP, Marty Adams, there'll be utility crews that will be out throughout this region repairing water lines, fallen power lines. Please heed and yield to those individuals and ensure their safety as they are out there for you. Lastly, as you move about, recognize that as this situation creates unusual circumstances to include soil erosion, flash flooding, and water inundation, that evacuations may be necessary. What we ask all Angelenos, just as we live in earthquake country, and to be prepared to leave and be prepared to sustain yourself over the next 72 hours, is to have a go kit. And to have a go kit, as the mayor indicated, that has batteries and are properly charged and equipped, personal needed medicines that are set aside so that should an evacuation be necessary, you and your family can leave quickly, heed the orders, and provide for the safety of yourself. Should evacuations be necessary in the city, the Los Angeles Police Department will be the primary effort to go door to door and to make those announcements. If an officer is knocking on your door, please answer that door, listen intently to their instructions, and follow those instructions. They are there for you and your safety. Finally, as I close, again, I think that there is no place in this country that is better prepared to deal with an emergency of any making than this region. And we're working not just as a city family, but with our county, state, and federal resources to ensure the safety of more than 4 million people during this highly unusual event. With that, I'd like to introduce the Assistant Chief of the Office of Special Operations, Assistant Chief Al Labrada.
Muy buenos días. Soy asistente jefe de la Policía de Los Ángeles y hoy voy a servir también como el asistente del director de emergencias aquí para la Policía, Departamento de la Policía. Hoy por parte del jefe Moore queremos dar gracias al alcalde Mayor Bass, a la jefa de bomberos también, Crowley, y a Carol Parks, directora de emergencia aquí de la ciudad de Los Ángeles, por la importante y urgencia mensaje que han dado para prepararse para este evento. Como sabemos, se llevarán a cabo estudios, en este caso, de que manténganse seguro, manténganse informado. Ese es el mensaje del alcalde y de todos aquí que están aquí hoy con nosotros. Se llevarán a cabo estudios de tráfico en todas las ciudades para detectar inundaciones en lugares conocidos y reportaremos por medio de los oficiales que están en las patrullas, estos locales a centros de emergencia, Departamento de Operaciones Centrales. Nuestro departamento va a asegurar nuestro personal y si es necesario, tenemos el poder de activar más recursos si es necesario, como ha dicho el jefe. Nuestros detectives estarán manteniendo un uniforme en caso que sea necesario responder y tener otros oficiales en las calles. El mensaje es claro, manténganse informados. Siga las rutas y requisitos de evacuación si es requisito que se pide. Si tienen que manejar, no manejen muy rápido, pero les estamos pidiendo, si no tienen que estar en las calles, por favor, manténganse en sus hogares. Asegúrense de que sus llantas estén bien infladas, mantenga suficiente distancia entre vehículos y no maneje a través de agua estancada. Si ve agua estancada, dé la vuelta y lo reporta, por favor. Si no tiene que estar en la carretera, por favor, no esté en las carreteras. Nuestro departamento continuaremos apoyando al Departamento de Bomberos para asegurar la seguridad de todos nuestros residentes hoy. Por favor, gracias a nuestros que están del departamento, todos los departamentos de la ciudad que están aquí con nosotros. Realmente es un esfuerzo grande que estamos haciendo para la seguridad de la comunidad. Las próximas 24 y 36 horas van a ser muy importantes para todos los residentes. El mensaje es claro, por favor prepárense, tengan información de las rutas de evacuación, tengan información para sus familias y más importante, tengan recursos para poder tener para sus familias para poder evacuar. Y más importante, si tienen que conducir continuamente, chequen las climas y las carreteras y el estado de las carreteras y evite el agua estancada como ya se mencionó. Por favor, continúen de ver los mensajes de redes sociales y más importante la información de los bomberos y por todos los que están dando información del condado estatal y local aquí de la ciudad de Los Ángeles. Ahora voy a invitar a Aurora García, presidente del Board of Public Works. I'm going to invite Aura Garcia, president of the Public Works. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Aura Garcia, and I serve as the president of the Board of Public Works for the City of Los Angeles. I want to first and foremost thank Mayor Bass for your leadership and our city departments and staff for working in a coordinated manner. The Department of Public Works is focused on protecting the safety of all Angelenos during the storm. Once again, we ask for all residents to please notify us if you see any trees down, any obstructions in the roadways, caused by the winds or the storm. Please call 311 or go through My 311 app to notify us. The Bureau of Sanitation has proactively cleared and clogged out storm drains and catch basins and mobilized equipment such as portable generators and pumper trucks to designated locations. We also have additional staff on hand to help address any flooded streets. For residential curbside collections, we are asking our customers to place your trash and recycling bins at least 12 inches away from the curb to prevent possibility of them floating or sliding down the street if your collection is tomorrow morning. In addition, we will alert you, our residents, through direct calls and social media if there are any interruptions in services. The Bureau of Street Services has ensured that there are ample emergency vehicles ready to dispatch. Street LA is actively inspecting problem hillsides for potential mudslides and will be assessing street sweeping routes tomorrow morning. Through a coordinated effort, Sanitation and Street Services and Los Angeles Fire Department have secured ample amounts of sand for public usage. If you need sandbags to secure your property from any mudslides, please call 311 for the fire station closest to you that will be distributing the sandbags. We have delivered close to 1,000 tons of sand citywide. The safety of our Department of Public Works employees is very important, and we thank each and one of our workers for mobilizing so quickly, transitioning into emergency operations right away. At Public Works, we are ready to help during and after the storm. Our Clean Streets and Clean LA crews are ready on standby for post-cleanup efforts. In all instances, we encourage everyone to call 311 or use my LA 311 app to report any issues. Thank you once again. Please stay safe and help one each other. Hola, buenos días. Mi nombre es Aura García y yo soy la presidenta de la Mesa de Obras Públicas para la Ciudad de Los Ángeles. Estamos aquí agradeciendo ahora a la alcaldesa Mayor Bass y a todos los departamentos que están trabajando en coordinación y para coordinar una ciudad muy segura. El Departamento de Obras Públicas está protegiendo la seguridad de todos los angelinos durante la tormenta. Una vez más, pedimos a todos los residentes que nos notifiquen si ven caer un árbol o si hay algún obstáculo causado por los vientos. Llamen al 311 o por la app My LA 311. La Oficina de Sanitamiento ha limpiado proactivamente los desagües y ha inspeccionado todos los depósitos de escombros y ha movilizado equipos. También contamos con personal adicional disponible para ayudar a solucionar cualquier inundación en las calles. Por favor, otra vez marquen 311 si miran agua estancada en las calles. En el caso de la recogida residencial de basura, le pedimos a todos los clientes que por favor pongan los botes de basura 12 pulgadas fuera de la calle. Pero también ahora pongan atención si va a haber interrupciones en servicios, por favor les vamos a comunicar directamente o por social media. La Oficina de Servicios de Calles, Streets LA, ha asegurado de que hay suficientes vehículos de emergencias listos para ser despachados. Streets LA está inspeccionando activamente calles problemáticas y calles donde puedan detectar posibles deslizamientos de tierra y mañana por la mañana evaluaremos las rutas de barridas de las calles. El Departamento de Transportación me ha notificado que han relajado el estacionamiento para las limpias de calles. A través de un esfuerzo coordinado de los servicios de sanitación y Streets LA, el Departamento de Bomberos y de Los Ángeles hemos asegurado grandes cantidades de arena para uso público. Si usted necesita sacos de arena, por favor, llame al 311 para ver la estación de bomberos más cercana que está dando los sacos de arena. Hemos entregado cerca de 1,000 toneladas de arena por toda la ciudad. La seguridad de nuestros empleados es muy importante y agradecemos a todos y cada uno de nuestros trabajadores por movilizarse tan rápidamente y pasar a las operaciones de emergencia. El Departamento de Obras Públicas estamos listos para ayudar durante y después de la tormenta. Nuestros equipos de limpieza están preparados para los esfuerzos después de la tormenta y limpiar las calles. Por favor de llamar al 311 o utilizar la aplicación My LA 311 para informarnos de problemas en su comunidad. Gracias una vez más y cuídense mucho. Por favor, ayuden a sus vecinos. Y con eso, muchas gracias. And with that, thank you very much. I would like now to introduce Martin Adams, General Manager and Chief Engineer of Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. Quiero introducir a Marty Adams, el gerente general del Departamento de Energía y de Agua. Buenos días.
Thank you very much. Good morning. I'm Marty Adams with the Department of Water and Power. First, I'd like to give you the good news that as of 8:15 this morning, we had no current power outages in the city, although we do have our crews ready for any outages. And as we know with any kind of storm, that as the rain and winds pick up, we do expect, particularly as trees may fall or branches may fall, that we could have outages. As Mayor Bass indicated, the most important thing is that if you see a wire down that is an emergency condition, you need to stay away from wires, as well as the water or puddles around wires that could also be electrified. So very important to stay away. If there are wires down, please call 911 so that we can get word as quickly as possible to dispatch crews, as well as get emergency personnel to isolate the area to make sure that it's safe for the public. Our LADWP power restoration crews are fully staffed at this time. We're ready to respond to any outages that occur during Hurricane Hilary. We have additional crews also on standby, ready to be called out to assist our regular electric trouble crews in handling any increase in outages that we see both today and tomorrow due to the rain, wind, and flooding. Our tree crews are also ready and on standby in case we have tree-related outages. As you recall, the last storm, we had a number of trees down with wires entangled. We have to send those crews out to remove the trees prior to making repairs to the equipment and putting new wire back up. I want to remind the public that our first priority is to respond to reports of downed wires because of the issues of public safety. And we want to make conditions safe for the public and so that our crews can restore power in a safe and quick manner. Situations involving downed trees and wires are a significant hazard, and restoration work can be delayed while we're clearing those trees, so we ask for the public's patience in doing so, especially as large trees go down. Our crews will be reporting their progress regularly, and that'll improve the availability of up-to-date information for our customers throughout the storm. And our crews will continue to work around the clock until all power outages are restored as quickly and safely as possible. At this time, our customer call center is fully staffed, and we have additional call representatives that can come on if we need, if we have increased outages. Any customers can report an outage by calling 1-800-DIAL-DWP. That's DIAL-DWP or 342-5397. You can also report outages online at www.ladwp.com/outages. We regularly share outage information. We have an outage map that if you register on our service, you can get to the outage map. We also push out information on Twitter at LADWP and on Nextdoor, and we'll do our best to keep our customers informed of any outages and outage progress as it occurs throughout this storm. Thank you very much, and I'd like to introduce Carol Parks, the General Manager of the Emergency Management Department.
Thank you, and good morning, Los Angeles. Thank you, Mayor Bass, and all of my colleagues who have gathered here at the city's Emergency Operations Center. As you can see behind you, we have gathered our city departments to respond to the current weather event that we are facing. This is not a normal day for the city of LA, so we encourage all of you to take steps now to prepare to make sure you remain safe. The city's Emergency Operations Center was activated last night and will remain activated for the duration of this weather event. We are here so that we can maintain situational awareness. We want to be able to provide you with that latest information, so we ask that you visit lacity.gov so that you can see the latest information that will help to keep you safe. Another thing that we are encouraging you to do is to check on your family members, check on your neighbors, to make sure that everyone is remaining safe. Please do not panic. This is not the opportunity to panic, but this is an opportunity to make sure you are remaining safe. We do have an important website that you should visit, notifyla.org, to sign up for any emergency alerts. These alerts will be available via text, email, and phone calls. So if you get an alert, please pay attention to it and do as instructed. If you have not done so, charge your phones and continue to make sure that you are staying aware of what is happening. If you have not done so, also secure your outdoor space. Move furniture, umbrellas, and other lightweight items to indoors or secured areas to ensure that they do not fly away with the high winds. Continue to monitor the websites, and we will get through this, but we need you to be vigilant, to be safe, and to be prepared. Thank you.
Buenos días. Mi nombre es Crisanta González. Yo soy uno de los gerentes de emergencia del Departamento de Manejo de Emergencias bajo la gerente Carol Parks. Estoy aquí para compartir sus comentarios en español. ¿Qué está haciendo ahora el Departamento de Emergencia para prepararse y responder durante la tormenta? El Departamento de Manejo de Emergencias de la ciudad continúa trabajando con todos nuestros socios para asegurarse de que estemos listos para responder a cualquier impacto a la ciudad de la tormenta tropical. El Centro de Operaciones de Emergencia se ha activado desde ayer y está coordinando todo lo que nuestros socorristas necesitan para mantener la ciudad segura. La buena noticia es que las perspectivas meteorológicas se mantienen consistentes, como han oído aquí. ¿Qué deben de hacer ahora mismo? Regístrese para recibir alertas de emergencia por mensaje de texto, correo electrónico y llamadas telefónicas para su hogar, trabajo y escuela en www.notifyla.org. Cargue sus teléfonos y controle sus vecinos. Mantenga que sus vecinos todos están seguros y están bien, especialmente a aquellos que pueden ser vulnerables o necesitan ayuda adicional. Asegure su espacio, el aire libre, muebles, sombrillas y otros artículos livianos de áreas interiores y afuera y aseguran que están seguros para que no vayan a ir volando. Por favor, monitoren lacity.gov para obtener información sobre las últimas actualizaciones de tormentas y las respuestas de la ciudad. Este es un buen momento para que todas las ciudades de Los Ángeles continúen pensando en los pasos que podemos tomar para estar preparados, para cualquier emergencia. Durante la tormenta, tomo las siguientes medidas. Como han platicado antes los gerentes, evite conducir si es posible y tenga cuidado con las condiciones peligrosas de la carretera. Llame a 911 para situaciones que amenazan la vida, como personas atrapadas por inundaciones o árboles dañados o flujos de escombros que amenazan edificios. Infórmese a través del 311 que funcionará con un horario extendido durante la tormenta. Llame a 311 o visite lacity.gov myla311. Suponga que todas las líneas eléctricas caídas están electrificadas y son peligrosas y informe los problemas de energía al Departamento de Agua y Energía al 1-800-DIAL-DWP. Y más que todo, la gerente Carol Parks quiere que por favor vayan a tocar con sus vecinos, especialmente los que necesitan extra ayuda, para que todos los vecindarios estén seguros. Gracias por su tiempo.
Before we open up for questions, let me acknowledge Barbara Romero from LA Sanitation, Connie Llanos from the Department of Transportation, Ted Ross from ITA, which is 311. I also want to thank Pro Bono ASL for providing translation. Our next update will be at 4 o'clock.
All right, folks, we'll take questions.
Did you have another update? Thank you.
Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you. You were so thorough.
I nailed it off.
You got us off to a great start.
Come on, Joel.
Hi, Mayor. Could we take you? We're going live. Could we take you live?
That's exactly what we're going to do. And can we do it with the chief as
Absolutely,
well?
absolutely. And we'll keep it kind of personal, what you've been doing to prepare, how you feel. More on that.
Letting my hair grow and my kids. That's cute.
And you have chief tier too as well. And is this? What have you done?
I'll unplug it.
Thank you.
You want us to step in? I'll step in.
Karen Mayor Bass here with the Fire Chief Crowley here too. Ladies, thank you for joining us. This is unprecedented. You guys have hit the highest level of preparedness with the emergency declaration. But I got to ask you, with the flash flooding concerns, are you worried? We'll start with you, Karen.
Well, sure, I'm certainly worried, but what I feel very positive about is our level of preparation and our leadership, especially from our incident commander, Chief Crowley, so we are as prepared as possible. Now we need the public to be prepared.
Stay safe, stay home, stay alert. Chief, are you confident with the staffing that you have with LAFD? There's been a lot of staffing shortages. How do you feel going into a tropical storm?
You know, I feel very confident. We are actually fully staffed within the Los Angeles City Fire Department, and actually we've augmented in many, many different ways, so I'm feeling very good about our staffing model and leaning forward to ensure that we can provide those life-saving services to the city.
As a chief of the fire department, have you ever gone through a tropical storm or a hurricane?
I have to say, absolutely not. I have not.
Join the club. How about you, Mayor?
No, I have not. And then for all Angelinos, and I'm born and raised in Angelino,
right.
we don't experience these. We know that, Americans across the country, especially in the South and the East, they're used to this weather. We're not. It's summertime. We're not used to rain.
You take your titles away, and you're just Angelinos who have to prepare yourselves. How did you prepare your home?
Well, making sure our emergency kits were up to date. The family knew not to travel today. We're all going to be hunkered down at home. Of course, I will be here at the Emergency Operations Center.
And Chief, who cleaned your gutters at home?
I tell you, we did preparation at our own home, and that's out there to the community. It's that lean forward posture to make sure we're doing everything possible to be self-sufficient, to prepare for what's coming our way with the communications. So that's what we employ, really the community to lean forward and make sure they can take care of themselves. But at home, I checked my generator. We made sure that our house was ready, our family's ready, and we're all going to be safe.
One last message for the city and anyone watching.
Be prepared. Please listen to the information and your